Okay, so am I live? Let me just double check. Just double checking my YouTube, making sure that everything is going according. Okay, does seem like everything is going good. Alright, let's see then. Alright. Let's see then. Want to move my... Oh, wait, no, I didn't want the stream chat to... Maybe. No, I don't want it to... I guess like this. Alright, I guess this works. Let me see then. I'm gonna crack myself open a soda. I am a boy. Should probably plug my phone in. That way I don't wind up having it die, because like all my notes and stuff that I have for this run are on there. Alright. And this is just a regular ROM of Pokemon Fire Red according to my knowledge. Hopefully it's not like some sort of ROM hack. Ah, if it isn't my eternal rival, Asshat. It's been so long, Asshat. Yeah, I got this synced up to this knockoff Xbox controller. Alright. So far, everything seems to be alright. Go! It's unsafe. Okay. Wait a second. Crap, I forgot to check one thing. Poliwag, Fire Red. Alright. Like, I need to see if I can get it with, like, a Old Rod. Okay, then it cannot be caught with the Old Rod. Dang, because that's going to make things tricky, because I can't catch it till I get the good rod, which means that I'm going to have to be a good way through the game before I'm able to get my hands on a Jynx. Alright. Guess this is where I pick my gift Pokemon. Alright then, Bulbasaur is like the best option for like early game, and because of how many gift Pokemon are like flying or water types in this game. Okay then, so for Misty and Brock, Charmander is the worst option. But quite frankly, I think that it's going to be my only option for having a flyer later on. Alright. I'm going to name him Bobby. It's just me and Bobby. I mean, this is pretty par for the course. Just hit the scratch button until eventually he drops dead. Pretty par for the course. Now then, I won't be able to get my first other gift Pokemon until after I get to... like, after I beat Brock is when I'm going to be able to get it. And I think that, like, before... what's his name? Surge. I'm able to get a grand total of 2 or maybe 3 potential trades. With those trades being the trade for like a Nidoran for a Nidoran. So I got that. Look. Got okay then. Yep, trainer trips, whatever, I don't care. So yeah, one of them is for like a Nidoran for a Nidoran. So I'm going to want to catch a Nidoran female and trade it for a Nidoran male. That way I could eventually get it to a Nidoking. I'm going to want to catch a Fearow so that I can trade it for the Farfetch'd. That way I can have a Pokemon for cut. That way I'm not using my starter Pokemon as my HM Mule. And if I happen to catch an Abra, I'll be able to trade that. I believe either... yeah, that'll probably get me like a Mr. Mime if I'm remembering correctly. And what's going to suck, especially like later on in the run, is how it's going to... when it comes down to the run, one of the things that's going to be annoying is going to be how certain Pokemon will stop obeying me because of the fact that they, in-game, were counted as traded. Ah, welcome to Pilot Town. I hate the fact that in Fire Red, you don't get the running shoes until after you beat Brock. Given that I chose Charmander, that's possibly like the weakest option. But you know, having myself a flyer later on, that's going to be good. That plus, given how many... Wait, shit. I just realized. At the game center, if I get the gold coin case, I'll be able to buy myself, if I spend enough money there, I'd be able to buy myself a Dratini, which I can eventually evolve into a Dragonite, which would have been another flyer. Bit of an oversight, but you know what? Guess I'm just going to have to deal with that 4 times weak to rock deal when I get there. Venusaur possibly would have been the best option for, like, early game. But I think... I think I may have goofed. Though, definitely, like, not getting the Blastoise was the best option. I think, like, long-term, that the Charmander might have been the best choice. Alright, got myself the Pokeballs. Ooh, somebody sent me a text. Alright. I don't think that I'm going to get enough Pokemon this run to be able to get the experience share, so that's going to be a bit of a bitch. You know, if you were a Fearow, I would have caught you, just so that I'd be able to save you later for a Farfetch'd. Come on. Attaboy. Drop dead for me. I think if I evolve him into a Charmeleon, I do get Metal Claw. I hate the fact... You know, I'm just going to hit the fast forward button because the tutorial is non-skippable. Thanks for the advice, old man. I won't be needing it. Oh, wait, shoot, I forgot I had the hotkeys triggered different for the remote. Okay, yeah, so I did heal. I do not want you because I cannot catch you. Besides, I already have a future flyer on my team. At least I'll be able to, because I'm not focusing on grinding multiple teammates, I'm going to be able to focus on, like, getting my Charmander high level. So, Viridian Forest, or whatever, however you pronounce that, like, Viridian Forest. It's going to be super easy just because of the fact that I'm going to be able to just hit everything with Ember and just either one or two shot it. Like, yeah, look at that one shot. And since I'm not having to focus on switch training, all this XP is going to be going straight to Bobby. Oh, wait, shit. Now that I think about it, Aerodactyl would have also been a flyer. I could have gotten the old Ember and then... Oh, my God. It's not as good of a flyer, but still, it would have been a flyer. Yep, just all that free XP. I wonder if, like, I tilt my microphone. Oh, yeah, I'm just able to use my microphone to hit the accelerate button. I think until I get, like, the running shoes anytime I enter, like, a battle. Actually, you know what? Just because, like, I'm going to be using the speed up button to, like, try to make things easier on myself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch Scratch and Ember. Because, like, right now I'm kind of grinding a bit. Like, with me... doing the grinding right now. I think just having the speed up button is to my best advantage because it's just inside of this force just a instant KO move. Man, it feels so different just not switch training in this area. Because normally I'd spend, like, hours just trying to get my team to, like, level 10. Oh, wait, no, it learns Metal Claw before it evolves. Okay. Let me see that. I think I can catch Fearos here. All right. Alright. Let's see how he likes my Metal Claw. Pretty sure he sends out a Geodude first. I'm not sure if his Geodude has Sturdy or not, but it's probably going to be able to like land one blow on me if it does have Sturdy. Ooh. Wait, that's right. Oh, a crit. Ooh, that hurt. It's a shame that that doesn't have stab on it. Alright, Sandshrew. Oh wait, Steel isn't super effective against ground, so that's just going to do neutral damage. Oh man, this is... Okay. And without another Pokemon to switch into, I can't, like, reset his accuracy being lost. Every time I land a hit on him, my attack goes up, but every time he uses Defense Curl, his defense goes up. That plus he's lowering my accuracy. But that doesn't fucking matter because I still land the hit. Oh, if that was a crit, he would have been dead. Dang, first loss of the run. Go, Bobby. Come on, land a crit. So close. Okay, so every time I land a Metal Claw, my attack stat goes up. But then he uses Defense Curl, and his defense goes up, so... Alright. Alrighty then, level 14 now. Does it evolve at level 15 or 16? Because if it evolves at level 16... Alright, this is going to give me a plenty decent chunk of XP. There's a chance that if I do beat Brock first try, that he'll just evolve immediately after the fight. Alright, send out Geodude first, and then he's going to send out his Ace Bang Onix. Alright, super effective, and then Defense Curl, of course. Damn, so close. Another Defense Curl. Alright, Bobby's level 15 now. That's gonna hurt. Ooh, that's not good. Yep. I'll give it a try going against Asshat. Let me see then. Just going to hit the fast forward button. That way I could just rush through Viridian Forest. Alright. Then if I wind up dying, it's one of those cases where I'll just be sent back to the previous city that I was in. But I believe that if I do beat him, that I'll gain enough experience to where I will be able to Yeah, I know you're home.
Oh, okay. You never answered my text, so.
I can hear your Yeah, I can hear you guys' footsteps upstairs.
I just brought 8 eggs in, and I was gonna talk inside.
She must have accidentally hung up on me. And she's probably going to come down and ask me, like, why did I hang up on her? I would have explained to her that, yeah, right now I'm streaming, so staying downstairs. Yeah, she said she was looking down the south side and then cut off. Hold on a second. Might share more. Oh, it is more towards the ladder. I should probably heal before I forget. Alright. Trial number 2. What? Okay, so I just missed. The RNG gods looked down on me and frowned. At least the RNG gods made it up for me. Oh, and then I got the attack boost. Alright. Super effective. Alright. Rock Tomb still hurts. Still gonna hurt. But it's not as bad because now I've become more bulky. Alright. If I land another crit, that's gonna be crazy. Didn't get a crit, damn. Would have ended this man's whole career. Alright, got the level up. And that's Brock down. Alright, which means that I'm just around the corner from being able to get the Magikarp, so I'll have 2 Pokemon on my team. Alright. Come on, so close to being able to get the running shoes and not have to deal with this slow pacing. There's a letter attached. Oh, they're a gift from Mom, alright. Pidgey, that's dangerous for me right now. Especially because I forgot to heal. Oh, and then the sand attack. That's also scary. Alright, I think that there's like supposed to be something invisible down here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, probably am. Amber's just gonna one-shot. Oh man, what is going to be just god awful is going to have to be dealing with like the switch training I'm going to have to. I should try to leave as many of these trainers as possible because I am going to have to switch train the Magikarp. Like, try to go through with as little trainers as possible. Like, I know going one step forward. Okay, never mind. I thought I was... Okay, then. Never mind. This is the one where if I would have went one forward too many, I would have had to fight that last. And I'm wanting to just kind of go around right now. Want to save up all that XP for the Magikarp. And what's going to be crazy is because of like the fact that for a while I'm just going to be using Bobby. He is going to be so much higher level than anything else I get on my team. Pretty sure if I did my research right and I routed it right that I'll be able to get potentially 4 members onto my team before I even fight Misty. I just gotta go around doing certain things. Actually, potentially 5. Now that I think about it. Because if what I read was right, then there's a girl that will trade me a Nidoran male for female, so I could trade with them. If I manage to catch an Abra, then I'll be able to trade it for the Mr. Mime. But I gotta go through Diglett Tunnel first for that. And then I can get the trade Spearow as well. And then I believe on the other tunnel, there's a trainer that'll trade you a Nidorino, or like a Nidorina, or whatever you call it, and like do basically the same trade, but like for the gender swaps. Okay, then. Got it. Ooh, a Spearow. I can trade that for the Farfetch'd later. Okay, then. So this is going to be my first catch, but then I'm going to have to immediately, like... Oh, God. I don't, like... Okay, so technically I can grind it. I just can't evolve it. So, you know, when I'm going up against wild Pokemon, then yes, I'm able to use it. But if I have to use it inside of a trainer battle, then I'm just going to have it spam its move that does 0 damage until eventually the trainer just kills it. Hello there, laddie. Alright. Nickname to the Magikarp. Actually, I'm going to name this after a buddy of mine. I'm going to name it Noah. I don't give refunds, and I don't want a refund. You gave me exactly what I wanted. Actually, I might just box the Spearow. At least for now. Because I can switch train that later. Don't want to risk having to do that. I'll save the grind for that for the Diglett Cave. And I think I can catch either Nidorans or like Nidorans or Nidoran male, female. Pretty sure I can catch them inside this patch of grass, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm just going to speed it up while I switch train. And hunt. Damn it. Meant to switch. Alright, so I'm going to actually have to save him for later as well, because I'm going to have to trade him for the gender swapped version, and because there is another trader which will trade me like the evolved form of the female for the male, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the female to evolve, and then later when I get to that part, just going to swap back, that way I can get my hands on a Nidoking. Or at least that's the strat. Though I have 2 Pokemon for in-game trades, plus my first actual teammate that is not my Charmander. Alright. What sucks is I'm going to get a free hit right here. Alright. A bug catcher with some decently leveled bugs for me to have the switch train on. Oh, please don't get the poison. Son of a bitch. Yep, I know it's super effective. Oh, wait, so... Alright, a Kakuna, so I'm going to be able to antidote, swap out. And get him with a Ember. And And because this is a second stage Pokemon, it's going to drop more XP. And I believe in Gen 3 that Ember and all Fire-type moves are counted as special, so it doesn't even matter that he's buffing his physical stats. Paralysis heal. Alright. Alright, a Zubat. Not exactly my favorite thing in the world to face, so I'll switch to Bobby. Bobby's going to land a hit, knock him the fuck out. And Noah's going to get some XP. Alright, level 14. Noah's going to get quite a bit of experience just for being in the fight for a very brief period of time. I think that Jigglypuff has a lot of physical defense, but not a lot of special defense, so I'm pretty sure if I just hit it with Ember, yeah. I'm gonna go drain the lizard. Alright. Doesn't look like I got any new viewers. Oh well. Let me see then. I'm going to look up the Fire Red. Alright, so at level 15, it's going to learn Tackle. So that's a little ways away. But once he learns tackle, he's actually going to be somewhat useful, being able to repeatedly just ram into it. Well, it being whatever the hell I'm facing. If my estimations are correct, then if I'm doing switch training and getting it to level 15, then I'll probably put Bobby at like the low 20s by the time I'm out of Mount Moon, and maybe, just maybe, Noah will be level 15. Which will mean that I'll have to work hard to get his remaining levels on that bridge. Like the one that you get the golden nugget at the end of. Alright. Babby. Ekans, that's going to be so annoying if it lands the poison. And it's got Intimidate. Oh man, that is so fucking annoying. If I'm not mistaken, I think Steel is super effective against poison. Either that or is only just resistant. Yeah, Steel type is just resistant. It's not super effective. Actually, I think Steel type is just immune. But I was just thinking like out loud with the move. Bag. Let's see then. Can I use a potion on Bobby? Alright, that's an Oran Berry. It's really going to bother me that I got the controls set up like that. Open. Alright then. I'm going to give the Oran Berry to Noah. Alright, another level 14. So this will actually be dangerous. Or at least it would have been if he had used any flying type moves. I know for a fact I'll probably use the I say I know for a fact, and then I say probably. I am going to use the rare candy I get here to like level up the Magikarp once, but I don't want to do it when it's like low, like it is right there when it comes down to the XP. I want to be able to do that like probably immediately after a level up. Did this motherfucker just slap me twice in the face? I mean, I was just planning on spamming the same move over and over again. Trying to learn Smoke Screen. Alright, Smoke Screen actually is like a decent setup move. It's kind of like how Sand Attack works. So I think depending on the fight, like Smoke Screen might just be like a good setup opener. Like, yeah, once I get him to level 10, I'll immediately level him up using the rare candy. Oh, right, shit, the Mad Scientist. I forgot he was right there. Alright, if I'm... Yeah, he only uses electric types. So that is bad for my Magikarp, but great for Combusken. Not Combusken. Charmeleon. Wrong Pokemon name. Super effective. It's about to use Voltorb. Alright. Let's see how close Noah is to leveling up. Alright, I think after the Voltorb, I'll probably have to battle either 1 or 2 just wild encounters to get him to level 10. Yeah, so after this encounter, he'll be level 11, which will be perfect for going up against... Like, it'll be perfect for the rare candy, which is just one step closer to my goal. And then there's another rare candy that's, like, right inside of... I think it's Viridian City. Yeah, no, that's the escape rope. I know it's like around here somewhere. Is this it? Yeah, it is. So yeah, I do see him being around level 15 when I do leave the cave. I wouldn't be shocked if I wound up leaving the cave with both a Charmeleon and a Gyarados. It is a possibility. Your hardening does nothing, you fool. Oh, so when I was a little kid, I used to wonder what that, like, little crest thing on Caterpie's head was for. And it wasn't until, like, I was about 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, when I learned about this type of caterpillar that inspired Caterpie, that, like, it resembles Caterpie, like, almost to a T. But what it does is it is shaped, like, it's got a growth on it which resembles a snake's tongue flickering out, and its head is shaped that way so that it looks like eyes, so that when birds try to eat it and they see it, they just go, oh shit. So, like, they start acting like they're a snake, and the birds just take one look at them, and they're just like, oh fuck no, not dealing with that. Nope. Nope. That's not food, that's a snake. I'm sure if I had dropped one of them inside my turtle's enclosure, he literally would not give a shit. He'd be like, snake, fucking worm, caterpillar, don't mean no difference to me. Then again, Chopper's a gluttonous bitch. Alright, so Team Rocket Grunt. I think he'll have a Sandshrew if I remember correctly. Yep. That moment when you remember a game that you've played literally hundreds of times. I've showed at least twice this stream that I forgot some of the type matchups, and oh my god, if he does what I think he's going to do, which is just sand attack, stall me, that's going to be annoying as hell. Settings, video, output. Oh, I see them. Just looking at my stream, noticed that it was a little bit choppy, so I had to check the OBS. Sand attack stall is so annoying. Wait, I didn't mean to minimize OBS. I still want to see chat. When I get people, I want to be able to, like, reply to them. Alright, so switching into Magikarp should reset my accuracy. Person showed interest. All right. Switching into Zubat, so I'm going to switch into Noah again. Star Piece. I could sell that for quite a bit. I have a feeling because I'm not going to be spending so much on Pokeballs this run that, like, I'm just going to have a shit ton of fucking money. I should have considered buying repels. I think this guy either gives you something or he... Alright. Oh, he just gives you lore. Like, oh, there are fossils here. Like, I also got things to consider for later on in the run. For example, what am I going to turn my Eevee into? Because I don't think this game has Eviolite, so I don't think that I can put... Not Eviolite. Or wait, is that what it's called? That thing that prevents your... Like, that gives you a little bit of a boost when you... Oh man, I should have switched. I'm such a fool. That would have been free XP. Let me see then. Jolteon, like, if I trade a Raichu for a Electrode, then I'd have a better electric type later on in the run. But at the same time, like, Jolteon being able to have that electric type sooner. Wait a second, I'm going to look something up real quick. Dang, so I do need to beat Misty before I'm able to get certain things. I was gonna say, like, get the Jolteon and then, like, face Misty, but if I need to beat Misty in order to use Cut, then that does suck for me. Because I know that I'll get, like, plenty of water types as gifted Pokemon. I got the Magikarp already. Then later on, I do get the Lapras. And if I were to evolve the evolution into Vaporeon... Like, if I were to evolve it into Vaporeon, then I'd have 3 potential water types. So I think Jolteon or Flareon might be my only options. And although I do love Flareon, I think that Flareon might be the worst of the two because of its move pool in Gen 3. That plus me already having the Charizard, like having 2 fire types. I think Jolteon might just be the best option because I don't think there's any way for me to get any grass types. Which, you know, is fine. It's whatever. Like, electric types are so much better in general. Though Mr. Mime does learn Magical Leaf. So if I do need to use a grass type move, I could have Mr. Mime do it. Yeah. Damn, I forgot to switch out again. Oh well. Yeah, big ol' lab booger. Man, I keep on making the same mistake because of what buttons I programmed for what. The fact that Splash has 40 PP and I'm not even able to just run them through just so that I can get Struggle going is incredibly annoying. Come on. Got the Oko. Yet another Geodude. Metal Claw missed. Of course it did. Alright, sending Noah back in. Switching him back out. Alright, he's getting close, and he would be a lot closer had I remembered to switch him out a few other times. but it is what it is. Alright. I think once I get Bobby down to the red is when I'm going to use my escape rope. Because I'm still a little ways away from having to, like, I'm still a little ways away from Magikarp being able to fight for himself. Alright, a Moonstone for eventually when I get my Nidoking and or Nidoqueen, depending on whether or not the source I've read from is factual or not. Don't want a similar situation to that one guy who I talked about instead of my why I dislike Hassan Piker video where I was explaining, like, yeah, I dislike him because he was friends with a sniper, and then, like, here's the thing with it, there is so much evidence pointing in both directions. There's evidence pointing to him actually being a Hamas sniper, and then there's evidence against him being a Hamas sniper. So it's basically all a matter of hearsay and what evidence you take going for it. Like, journalists weren't able to find evidence linking him to Hamas, so they're like, oh, the ADF or whatever the Israeli Defense Force is called, like, they probably just made that up. And then it's like, okay, then how about all the other people they killed that were on that list? All of them were Hamas members. And then it's also like, okay, then what the fuck was that guy doing before the Hamas terror attacks on October 7th? Like, what was he doing with the forces, taking photos of it and uploading it to his Instagram? What was he doing there? And why the fuck was he seen photographed multiple times with Houthi terrorists? And in one instance, there's a photo of him where he's, like, with some Houthis, and they are carrying a dead Houthi on their shoulders, and he's got the Houthi, like, scarf thing. Now then, I'm not saying, like, that, you know, that confirms that he's a Houthi. I'm just saying, like, there's evidence going both ways, and the way I see it is that there are, like, if you look at the situation, there's only, like, a handful of possible outcomes for the situation. Situation 1, which I think is the simplest one, that I believe to be true. I believe that he was a and that he was being used, like, they were trying to make it seem like he was only a journalist, and, like, I don't put that, like, above anything Hamas would do. After all, they do use human shields with women and children that they kidnap off the streets. They are choosing to continue this meaningless war by not releasing the hostages. And, like, they claim to be about liberating Palestine and all of that stuff. But at the same time, as soon as any Palestinians say that like they're against Hamas and their actions, once they protest against them, they murder them and they send their bodies to, like, they lay their bodies out on their parents' front fucking lawns. So I wouldn't put that, like, too much trust into them because, like, in my opinion, they would disguise their most dangerous operatives as a protected class during war. Like, oh, you're not allowed to attack the journalists, so we're just going to have our deadliest people dress up as journalists. And, like, that is, like, I think is the easiest one. And then there's the second situation where that file from that computer that the Israeli forces found was accurate, that he was a soldier in Hamas back in 2019, which they do use child soldiers, so, you know, it is a possibility that that was true. And then the guy, like, served his time, whatever, and then used his connections from his times in Hamas to be able to, like, get access to information like, hey, we're going to be attacking here, this is where it's going to be. And then basically, in addition to newscasting, like, he quit being a agent of Hamas and focused on becoming a news reporter, like, and then still, like, sympathizing with their plights, like, also going to, like, these battles and stuff like that to take photos and shit. Like, that is option number 2, that he is a former Hamas agent who wound up, like, becoming a reporter after the fact, and outdated information is what led to his death. Which, if that's the case, it's a shame. And by the way, they use hospitals as, like, they put their bases inside of hospitals, so, as well as, like, fucking schools and shit like that. So, you know, like, elementary schools and stuff. So, you know, I do think that they would have, like, because he was killed outside of a hospital, I do believe that if he was active duty, that he was heading to that place because of the fact that he was active duty. And if he was a former member, maybe he was going there to chat with somebody that was active duty. Alright then. Situation number 3. Like, he was incredibly lucky with his timing. Like, no inside information from Hamas, like, somehow his journalism skills gave him fucking future sight from One Piece, and he knew exactly where all these people that are constantly fucking hiding and shit are, and he's just like, hey, do you have time for, like, a news article? Like, you willing to come and, like, talk to me for my news site? Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, dude just knows where these terrorists are before they're, like, out in the open, like, and also knowing exactly where they're going to strike, what parts of the border of Israel that they're going to go to. Like, he's just a journalist with fucking omniscience when it comes down to that. And then like, you know, either Hamas put him onto their list of terrorists to act as a distraction, not necessarily as a distraction, but to, like, put him inside of the list of names for actual terrorists. That way he's put on the kill list. That way when Israel does kill him, if they kill him, then they'd be able to use him as a martyr. And this, like, basically just, hold on a sec, somebody's calling my name. There's a skipper. Yep. Alright. Anywho, yeah, so like potentially just future sight, like Fucking was able to predict where these terrorist attacks were going to happen and was put on the list specifically to become a target of Israeli forces and was murdered because of the fact that on that laptop or computer it just gave them a kill list. Or what I think, like, that a lot of people believe is that it is the Israelis who put him on there, and you know, they don't really have a reason to put a news anchor onto anything. Like, a military group, especially one that like they specifically, before they bomb any buildings, they deposit leaflets because they want to make sure that as many citizens as possible are able to leave before there's any sort of like bombs or shit dropped on stuff. So it's like, hello civilians, just so you know, we're gonna be bombing this place. Like, that, like, I don't think that they would necessarily be like, news reporter, let's go after that guy, like, unprovoked. So, you know, and then on the off chance that it was them, like, it is an incredibly shitty thing, but, you know, the other things are far more likely, and with him dying right outside the hospital, like, I believe, like, there are multiple contradictory things. Some say that he died inside of a hospital bombing, which, in that case, like, that could potentially, like, have the Israeli forces, like, it's like they didn't intend to kill him. He was just kind of like a victim who just wound up getting caught up inside of it. And I don't think that the, like, Palestinian forces, I don't think that any of them, if they're agents of Hamas, would want to have anything that could potentially put any sort of doubt on that. So, like, the other sources are saying that he was killed 150 meters inside of his car that was outside of the hospital. And I don't think that Israel, if they were to send a drone strike or like a bomb strike on an individual, that they would do that someplace where they'd risk causing so, like, additional casualties. So, like, in all three of those situations I pointed out, it's like, actually no, 4 situations. Agent of Hamas, former agent of Hamas, never an agent of Hamas, but had some intel, never an agent of Hamas, never had intel, like, in a lot of those, or like just like Hamas putting him on that list for misinformation to try to get Israel to kill it. Personally, I think because of the fact that there is so many contradictory statements towards this particular case, like, the likelihood is that he was a Hamas agent. That's what I'm saying, is the likelihood. And I do believe that. But when it comes down to it, it's one of those situations where I'm not there, I'm not on the ground, I can't do my own, like, investigation on it. So, you know, I think either he was given misinformation, like, he either was a Houthi, not Houthi, Hamas. I do believe he was either, like, a agent of Hamas, or Hamas gave misinformation to Israelis hoping that they'd kill him. And I think if the Israelis killed him, it was either due to the fact that he was a member or were misinformed that he was a member. But more than likely, I think that Hamas actually killed him just so that they could use him as a martyr on the international stage. Like, that's just an opinion because there are so many, like, contradictory sources towards this, and given that it happened inside of a war zone, and it's one of those things where, like, you can't really put too many boots on the ground to, like, do forensic, like, investigation or any of that stuff because of the fact that there's just so many potential things that could contaminate the scene, so many different things that could wind up, like, it's incredibly fucked up. I do think that any loss of human life is a tragedy, though I do believe that the odds are that this guy was a Houthi. Ooh, it's not very effective. I know that a water gun would do a lot of damage to me, so I'm going to smoke screen. Let's see then. So Scratch is going to be a physical move, so him using Withdraw is going to increase his physical defense. And although it's going to be not very effective, I think Ember might be my best go just because of the fact that it's got stab to it, plus he's not got anything to... God damn it. Alright, not very effective, but if I land the burn... I think the double smoke screen is just going to help me just enough. Yeah, I think double smoke screen just barely got me through it. Alright, he's about to use Abra. So I'll switch into Noah. And if I catch myself in Abra inside of the next route, I'll be able to trade that for a Mr. Mime. So I gotta be able to get my way through the bridge. And if I get my way through the bridge, I'll be able to catch it. So there's going to be a lot of bug trainers inside of it with like some relatively high level Pokemon. So I do think that there's a chance that, like, in addition to probably leveling up, I just need to... Ooh, so close, but I'm going to wind up likely losing here. Just because of the fact that I'm only going to be able to use Splash. Oh no. And I got the Oran Berry, so he's going to eat it. You know, I'm just going to hit the fast forward button. Alright. I don't know. It's like one of those long form situations where it's like, I believe that the simpler answer is the correct one because, like, more often than not that just winds up being the case, like, given the evidence that I've seen. And people can show me evidence that shows contrary, and, like, I'll accept the fact that that is their evidence that they come to, and they've come to their own conclusion, as long as we're not, like, being vulgar or, like, causing, like, any actual, like, hate, as long as there's, like, no hate speech inside of it, or, like, wanting any sort of death to come to anyone. Like, I'm willing to talk to anyone about, like, the talking points inside of my Why I Hate Hassan series, as long as like they don't encourage death. Like, if I see somebody comment from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, I will like straight up block them from my channel. Because, for starters, I don't want my channel to become a political channel. I started that series based off of the fact that, like, I thought the guy was a bit of a dick. And, like, as soon as I started, like, looking into him, it just got worse and worse. Alright. Ember. Though, yeah, if I would have landed the burn on Asshat's Squirtle, that would have been so much better. Ooh, and he's gonna get knocked out to burn. Oh, and another thing I noticed is that people will claim misinformation, and it's just like, well, how about you back it up with a source? And then the moment you show them a source, they're like, that's not my source, therefore it is not credible. Which, personally, I think is, like, an incredibly stupid take, because if you're going to be getting your information specifically from only one source, instead of, like, looking into multiple sources, multiple different, like, articles, multiple different, like, whatever. Like, unless you're willing to do that, really just being like, oh, how about you back it up with a source? They give you the source. Well, that's not one of my sources, therefore it doesn't count at all. It's incredibly childish, and it's like those people who say that vaccines cause autism. You could show them hundreds of articles showing them that, no, in fact, vaccines do not, in fact, cause autism. And they'll just throw themselves a little temper tantrum, just like, no, but I'm on these Facebook groups with some moms, and they all say that their kids were perfectly normal before they got any sort of vaccines, and now they're retarded. And, like, that's basically the type of arguments that I wind up seeing more often than not since I started doing that series. Heck, even if you show tweets and videos, they will straight up deny and just be like, how about you use a credible source? You mean like him fucking saying shit with his own dick sucker? Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna stop talking about that for a second. If I wind up, like, getting too hyperfixated, I'll eventually just become a Hassan hater channel, which is incredibly stupid. I do not want my channel to become about politics or how much I dislike an individual content creator. Like, shit. The guy's never said any beef specifically towards me. A wheel decided that I'd talk about the guy, and his fan base came after me. So out of spite, I made more videos. It's not like that guy, the Curl King, when that vegan teacher came after him, so he decided, you know what? Since you're going to be an ass about it, I'm going to create a second channel called the Omni King, where I talk about eating meat and shit, and like how vegans are fucking stupid. Like, that was out of pettiness, and I'm fucking here for it. The guy's well educated too, and speaks inside of a way where, like, that is simultaneously respectful and, like, he calls out Miss Katie, aka that vegan teacher, inside of a way that I can respect. Alright. do think that the funniest comment I got during like that whole thing where it was like me hating on Hassan because of the fact that I did not include my politics inside of any of them. I got a comment that called me a failure of a leftist, which I do find hilarious. It's like, oh yes, people in the center or people like they literally, because of the fact that I was so apolitical inside of the commentary for it, one of his fans thought that I was a leftist, and they called me a failure as one, just because of the fact that they could not think of a single argument against what I said. And because of the fact that I stated my points inside of an apolitical way, it just confused the shit out of them. Like, fuck, what's this guy's politics? He's given zero signs. He's a failure as a leftist. And, you know, I find that to just be funny. Okay, now I'm done. Man, this Caterpie, like, I hate the fact that the common Caterpie strat that the NPCs wind up doing is just string shot tackle or string shot poison sting. And it's the same for Weedles too. I do think there's a chance that if I... Ooh, don't land the poison. Please don't land the poison. Alright, good. I should probably heal Bobby up. I think, like, I'll probably get halfway through the bridge, and that's when Noah's going to level up to 16, and then I'm able to rare candy up for getting him to 17. Which, let me see, what level does Magikarp evolve? What would be fucking terrible is if I wind up encountering a shiny in this run. I'd probably try catching it, but I wouldn't be able to level it up. Okay, so Magikarp evolves at level 20. Man, I'm gonna go drain the lizard. Alright. Drinking these sodas, it's just going straight through me since all I had to eat today was a chicken breast and an omelet. But been on a slightly high protein diet lately. Alright. If Kakuna didn't just have Harden and stuff like that, I would have kept the Magikarp out just because of the fact that Ember is special and super effective, just being able to get the Oko. That's the reason why I'm doing the switch. Alright. Oh, that's all that my tackle does? That's barely shit. And I don't want to, like, be dealing with the sand attack bullshit, too. Ugh. Double sand attack, really? Alright. Oddish. Yes, just because I'm going to have to switch. All honesty, if it wasn't a grass type, like, I would have kept Noah out. What sucks is that so far, like, my team is going to be complete and utter ass against Surge. Because if Bobby evolves into a Charizard, then what he's going to be is weak to lightning as well. Pretty sure, like, Surge has a Magnemite, a Voltorb, and a Raichu, if I'm not mistaken. If I got that right off of just the top of my head, like, that is fucking insane. Let me see that. Just going to adjust the thing a little bit. Alright. Just because, like, I noticed on stream that it's looking like a little cut out. So hopefully that makes it look a little bit better. I'll know once the stream catches up to me in reality. Yeah, not too much of a difference. Wait. Forgot that I picked up those super potions. Here you go, Bobby. God damn it, Bobby. Why do you have to go and get hurt? And he's just like, but I love you, Dad. Oh, man. If only Noah had access to any water-type moves right now, that would make him super viable. But wait a second. I think I get Water Pulse after I beat Misty, so that's actually going to be really good because of the fact that that has a chance of confusion. Bobby's attack missed. Sand attack again. Now for the fun part. You know what? I'm just going to adjust the mic and hit the fast forward button. Yep, just stall strats. Finally. Oh no, I'm wrapped, so I won't be able to switch out. Alright. Orange Berry Pop. Holy shit, if he gets poisoned. Noah, you were doing so well in your first battle where you were able to fight on your own because I couldn't switch you out. And then you go and get poisoned. And now you're missing attacks. Okay. Alright. That's a crit. So I'm going to switch into Bobby. Then I believe I do have a revive, so I'll be able to... Yep, I do. Didn't want to waste the antidote unnecessarily. Alright. Going for that stab Ember. Okay, then I think there's a total of either 6 or 7 trainers that are going to be on that bridge. So there's a chance that my Magikarp is going to evolve. There is a chance. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm saying there's a chance. Does suck that I did have to waste such a valuable revive this early in the run. But I'm trying to give him XP. Three more levels to go. Okay then, so Route 24. And it has a 15% chance of being dropped. Okay. It's also available at the Rocket Game Corner for 120 coins. That is good to know. That is good to know. Okay then, I'm pretty sure that Nidoran male and female are just pure poison type, and then when they evolve they get the additional ground type. However, if it does have the ground type right now, I think that the Metal Claw will be super effective. Alright. These last 3 levels are going to be so fucking annoying. Though, you know what? Once I'm able to enter the Diglett tunnel, and it's got Poison Point. It's got Poison Point. No! Oh, that's why I fucking love, like, both the Nidoran lines. Like, Poison Point is such a good ability. And then if you give them, like, melee moves like Mach Punch or stuff like that because of the fact that... Oh, wait. I'm an idiot. I have an antidote. Alright, just one more trainer, which is the Rocket Grunt. After that, I gotta make my way to Bill. Monkey. Shoot, that reminds me. The 100 men versus one gorilla thing. Like, personally, like, I do think that the 100 men would grab that. It's one of those things where it's like, a single lion is weaker than a wildebeest. But if, like, a pride of lions attacks a wildebeest, it's only a matter of time. Like, nipping at its hind legs and stuff like that. Or it's like, a wolf is weaker than an elk, but if a bunch of them are fucking attacking them at once, then yeah, they're gonna win. Heck. So, you know, 100 humans, yeah, they'd be able to take on one gorilla. Shoot, especially because gorillas are not like a stand your ground type thing towards like a lot of stuff. Typically, if you, like some animals, like I've seen gorillas get chased away like by a goose. A goose is far smaller than a gorilla, but like if you come at a gorilla like with that like full on like screaming, like running straight at them at full speed, like they're gonna be like, oh, whoa. Then again, I've also seen geese do that with lions and shit too, so I think geese are just like Black Air Force incarnate. I don't think that there's like a goose Pokemon. I know that there's a swan Pokemon. I know that there are duck Pokemon. I don't think that like there's any Pokemon that are specifically like a goose Pokemon. I could be incredibly wrong. There are like 1025 Pokemon now, I think. And when it comes down to the newer gens, I'm not too good at them. Like I haven't played any of like Sword and Shield and like the other one in months since my Switch wound up breaking, and I'm considering like instead of buying a new Nintendo Switch, I'm just going to get a Switch 2 and then buy the, well, I guess like re-download them on digital because I still have like a Nintendo account. So, you know, re-download them, that way I can play them again. Okay, yeah, so if I talk to Bill, I'll be able to go into that one building, and then I'll be able to do the trade mons. So I'm going to try to catch myself in Abra. That way I can get the Mr. Mime. Okay then, so I did encounter an Abra. Second encounter. I was just going to like grind up the Magikarp, and if I ran into an Abra, then no fucking way! First try! First fucking try! Let's go! Second mon, first try! That is glorious. Oh, man. I'm going to want to try to battle as few trainers as possible. Actually, no, because I'm going to have to be switch training. Damn it. And I get the burn off. I think I bought additional Pokeballs specifically for the slim chance that, like, I had to, like, try for, like, maybe a couple minutes, maybe a couple different... Oh my god. That, in all honesty, made my day a little bit. Not gonna lie. I'll heal since I'm here. Might as well get some of my PP back. So yeah, I got 3 Mons in there specifically for trade. Actually, I'm going to buy a shit ton of repels since I got so much extra money. Because I don't need encounters. Repel, yes. Because I'm going to be going through the Diglett Cave later. Oh, man. So I need to get the SS and ticket. Try to avoid as many trainers as possible. That way I can use the trainers specifically for, like, grinding up a bunch of my Mons. Okay, so I'm going to want to avoid him. Pechaberry, alright. Let's see then. Yeah, because once I get the trade Mons, I need things to, like, grind them on. Before I'm able to face against Misty. Because, like, even just doing, like, the switch training like this is a bit annoying. But I think, like, once I got, like, a handful of Pokemon that are, like, decent enough levels... Ooh, that crit did hurt. Alright. Alright. I sent this guy in, and both times the enemy landed a fucking crit. What are the goddamn odds of that? What's also going to suck is the fact that I won't be able to catch any of the legendary birds. No, damn it. I was going to try to circumvent that. Oh well. More experience for Magikarp. You know, maybe I shouldn't focus so much on the switch training. Like, on avoiding stuff for switch training. Because I'm having to do it anyways. Maybe if I get the Gyarados, I'll have 2 Mons I'm able to switch into, which will allow me to get Gyarados to, like, a somewhat decent level. And once I got Gyarados at somewhat of a decent level, I can go up against Misty. Because having to rely on a Charmeleon right now is not doing me any... yeah, Charmeleon. Having to do that is not doing me any favors. I swear to God. I was going to say, if he hits me 5 times and gets the Oko that way... and I missed? Oh, thank fucking God that RNGesus chose to have him use Growl instead of Fury Attack again. Because he would have fucking had me. I would have been cooked. Son of a whore. Ah, man, Psychic and Water type. Oh, shit. This is gonna hurt. Not as bad as I thought, though. Alright, maybe if I set up a smoke screen, although it won't be super effective, I'll be able to use Ember. And if I proc a burn, that'll actually help me out. That was a crit? Holy fuck. That does half damage, and it, like... holy fuck. How high is my fucking... like, I think EVs are what you get? Like, how fucking good are my EVs if that's what like, what kind of damage I'm doing on a resisted super effective? Because resist cuts the damage in half, and then and then, like, a crit is double damage. Alright, 2 more levels remain. Ember, because I don't want to risk getting hit with Poison Point. Wait a minute, thinking about this, like, out loud, I could potentially have a Charizard, by the time I fight Misty for the first time. I'm saying, like, there's a potential for that. Because of all this Switch training. Because not only is my Magikarp gaining XP, so is my Charmeleon. So depending on how much longer it takes for me to get those last 2 levels, can really, like, just... so close. If it was a crit, I would have been able to, like, one-shot it. But, like, if I get up to, like, level 32 in the midst of, like, my grinding... I know, like, it's improbable, but I'm just thinking out loud because... I'm not sure if there's, like, any other, like, rare candies. Unless there's one inside of the Diglett tunnel that... Oh, wait a second. I think there's also either a nugget or a rare candy inside that one area to the right of the city you fight Surge in. Oh, and there's also one on the SS Anne. Yeah, I'm going to have like a plethora of options for surfers later on. Like Lapras, Gyarados, potentially Vaporeon. I think I'm going to go for the Jolteon. And then... Oh, fuck, I forgot to switch out. Damn it. Whatever. No regretting the past, just hoping for a better future. Though, yeah, both Nidoking and Queen can become surfers as well. Pretty decent chunk. Dampening the power of electric type moves. Against my team of 0 electric types. Absolutely genius. I think Geodude is pure rock, and then when it evolves it becomes rock ground. But if it's rock ground already, then that is incredibly stupid. Why put a move to dampen the power of electric type attacks on a Pokemon that is already ground? Ground is immune to electric. Unless I'm mistaken and the whole line is just rock. Though it does seem like a lot of Pokemon, they do choose to like make them rock ground for literally no reason. It's like flying and normal type. That is a combination that they do way too often. I don't think they had a pure flying type until they released Tornadus. Gotta save those guys for the later grind. Alright, Noah, you're almost there. He definitely would be a lot closer if I properly switched trained on him. Like, there are a few fights that he did miss out on some XP. I also hate how it just has a 4 times electric weakness because of water flying. I think they did that specifically to nerf it, but then the only flying type move that Gyarados ever learns is Bounce. Which is just a far weaker version of Fly. Alright. Alright, I beat the last. Alright, Bill. Just going to be fast forwarding through this part. Alright, so if I was reading up right, and I am going to, at the end of the tunnel, there's going to be a girl that I'm able to trade my Nidoran male for a Nidoran female. Now then, do I absolutely have to fight this grunt? Yes, I do, apparently. Level 17, okay, that'll give me some decent experience. Personally, buddy, I'd just walk past you. But you kind of forced my hand. I was about to walk by and let you continue with your crimes. Now then, I'm going to beat you up and steal the property that you stole and not give it back to the people you stole it from. Yeah, I remember, if I'm remembering right in this game, that there's straight up a moment where a Hypno that you wind up fighting straight up kidnapped a little girl. I think it's like level 40 or 50 when you fight it. I think it's in the post game. I mean, shoot, people already made fun of its design. Alright, let's see if the article I read was right. Do you have a Nidoran male? I'll train it for my Nidoran female. Yes! Third party member acquired! Third party member acquired. All right. Yes. Third party member acquired. Meowth, huh? Ooh, wait a minute. I'm so close to leveling up. Come on, I want for... Come on now, Noah. Don't fail me now. You are 8 levels higher than it. Why are you getting your ass beat so badly? I get it that you're just a Magikarp. But please, Noah, you got this. Alright. Finally, one more level to go. Item take. Let's see then. Poison point. Okay then. $16. All right. Oh, but Bobby's hurt. This could be bad. If Bobby wasn't the fucking goat, I could have been in trouble. Alright. I'm gonna send out Miss Nido. The amount of experience points I'll get will probably be enough to insta-level her up. Yep. Ooh, insta-level up twice. Okay. I'm gonna try to... Let's see then. I got one more fight after this, and then I'm in the city, and I will be able to try making my way through it to get to the guy for the Abra trade. I don't think I need cut to get to him. I think I just need to go through the tunnel. keep on pushing the wrong button. Alright, got the Spearow. I got my Spearow already for the Farfetch'd trade. And just because I'm so close to like getting Magikarp to level 20, maybe since it's a second form, give all that extra XP to him. It's crazy to think, as I'd probably have a Charizard if I was only using Charmeleon and didn't even once use the Magikarp. Like, thinking about all the extra XP I put into Magikarp, like, alright, Spearow and Abra. Wait a second, I don't think it's him. I think it's a person inside of a house. I believe that in here is where I get the Oldrod. Yep. So it's not him who I talk to, and then I know up here I get the bike voucher if I go in there. Is this the proper building? Hey, do you have a Spearow? I'll trade it for my Farfetch'd. Yes. Chiding. Alright, 4 party members down that I'm able to have 1 more to go. Alright, I'm gonna buy a shit ton of super potions. And a repel. And since I got 200 to spare, I'll do... Actually, no, I'll do 2 antidotes. Never know when you're going to need them. Oh, that's right. Repels only work up to, like, the highest... Okay, then, so... Maybe not exactly the best move, because Alright. Alright. Good thing you went for scratch instead of dig. So there's a chance that I'm just going to run into like a level 30 Dugtrio. So if they're like level 19 or higher, that is what I'm going to be encountering because of the fact that the highest level Pokemon I have in the front is Magikarp. Oh man, it's got Arena Trap. Shit, that means that I gotta hit the fast forward button because this is gonna be a little bit of time. So, okay, then it's not over here. Wait, do I have to have cut? No, here he is. Okay. Perfect. Wait, no, that's not him. Is it him? Looking for a Pokemon called Abro. Will you trade one from a Mr. Mime? Yes. And just like that, 5 members of the team. Because a lot of the Pokemon in this area do have Arena Trap, I'm just going to be, like, trying to make a break for it. And knocking out as many of them as possible. I would be switch training right now, but quite frankly, with Arena Trap being a factor, I just don't want to risk it. So yeah, either I'm going to make it through, or my team's going to get knocked the fuck out. I could repel up, but all that does is increase the odds of, if I do get an encounter, that it's going to be a level 31 Dugtrio. Getting my mic off the accelerator there. Alright, nearly 3 hours into the stream, and I have a team of 5. Given what the particular challenge is, I think that this is pretty alright. Found an Awakening. Alright, just gotta do a little bit of switch training and like just a little bit more. Noah is so close to level 20, and then once I have him at level 20, I'll be able to start training up the other members of my team. I should have gone with Ember. Oh well. Ember would have probably been a one-hit, but, you know, two-hit with Metal Claw. That's not too bad either. Like, it is so close that I can taste it. Because once I'm able to start grinding up the Gyarados, I can switch train the other ones. And then it's basically just a risk on if the Diglett has Arena Trap. If it does, then oh well, I wind up having a Pokemon get knocked the fuck out. But if I go at them and... Oh, wait a second. I think that maybe there's a chance that I'll actually be able to win this just by using Tackle. Crit. Yeah, no, Bite hurts too much. Maybe I will actually switch out. Thought he had a chance. I was wrong. Magnemite, alright. I think like maybe 2 or 3 more trainer battles and then Magikarp will evolve. Noah will evolve. The Rattata. just responded to a text there. I don't even have my phone on vibrate. I got it on silence, so like I saw it light up. All right, let's go. All right, here we are. Come on. It's been so long since I've evolved a Magikarp. I don't even remember if they learn any moves when they evolve. Let's go. Funny enough, my first Pokemon I ever got to reach level 100 was a Gyarados. From a Magikarp that I caught inside of Pokemon Ruby version. Wait a second, doesn't the stick boost the power of Farfetch'd? Yeah, it raises his critical hit ratio. So they... Sweet. Found an escape rope. Alright, Voltorb level 18. Chiding. I'm going to immediately switch you out for Bobby. Alright, Chiding is going to grow up a few levels. Alright, and then let's see then. Chiding is still the lowest level Pokemon I got, so I'm going to send him out. And then after this, Chiding is going to gain some more experience, because I at least want, like, my Maimin, Miss Nito, and Chiding to at least be level 17 before I try fighting against Misty. And maybe get Gyarados, Noah, up to maybe 22. Because, like, even if Bobby is weak to water, I think that he is just a bit over-leveled for that gym. But I can already tell you that Surge is going to be a fucking nightmare. Like, I'm going to want to grind up my whole team, because I got 3 Pokemon on my team that are weak to lightning. Electric-type moves. So I got quite a bit of grinding to do for them before I'm able to bring my team, because I'm really going to be dependent on Maimin, and if I evolve Miss Nito, like, she's going to have the ground typing, which she's probably actually going to be the best Mon I got for him. If only Chiding was higher level. Because Peck is super effective. I think once I hit the 3-hour mark, what I'm going to do is end the stream. Well, I'm going to save. That way, if I wind up closing the application, I don't want to accidentally, like, lose all this progress. So, like, if I wind up, like, doing some grinding, forget to save, close it, I'd still at least have my full team. It would just be like, no, I spent an extra 3 hours Not 3 hours. I wouldn't have probably have to spend that long grinding them up. My one weakness, spores. Level 28. What are the fucking odds that I'm going to have a goddamn Charizard before I even fight Misty? Gonna try to at least clear out all the trainers on this route before I end stream. Oh yeah, Noah. Noah's very intimidating. I think my buddy Noah would actually appreciate the fact that I got a Gyarados named after him. Like, oh, you used to be soft and pathetic, like a Magikarp, but you've been losing weight and making me more and more proud of you every time I see a picture of you. Like, congratulations, bro. You're becoming a Gyarados. Too bad the first fight you're going to be in where you're actually got, like, a chance of being a badass. You're whooping your own ass and you're going to lose to a fucking butterfly. I swear to God, if I went through all of that fucking training, like, and the first fight that I have with a Gyarados winds up losing to a fucking Butterfree. You know what, Noah? If you wind up beating the Butterfree, then, like, listen, if you wind up losing to the Butterfree, I am ending the stream. Alright. Beat the Butterfree. I say it like it's a threat, like I'm not planning to end the stream in 4 minutes. Chiding learned Leer. Ugh. Noah, buddy. That was horrible. That was a horrible debut. Nearly getting killed by a fucking butterfly. I'm only going to give you one because I'm going to also have to be using an antidote on you. The Rattata and Chiding. You know, it's this one is a lower level than you, Noah. Maybe you got a better chance against the rat. Yes, intimidate him. Intimidate him with your presence. And doesn't Hyperfang just automatically take like half your health? Or no, it's just a really powerful move. I was thinking of something else. But yeah, now that's fucking damage. Am I thinking of like Super Fang where it winds up... Ooh, Pikachu, that's actually going to be bad with the 4 times weakness. So, you know, instead of doing Chiding, I'm going to be shifting in Maimin. Maimin for his debut match before I even checked his fucking moveset. Let's see. Dang, double team. Triple double team. Triple double team still lands the hit. Quadruple double team. Quadruple fucking double team. Will Maimin be able to take out a Pokemon 6 levels higher? He does with medium difficulty. Because Mr. Mime is actually kind of busted. Not gonna lie. You know what? I'm gonna quickly switch Chiding with Maimin. And going to do one more battle. And... Alright. He also has one Pokemon, which is a Squirtle. Which is pretty high, like a lot higher level than Maimin. But you know, if Maimin winds up winning this particular fight, then, like, it's going to be absolutely insane. With a 9 level disadvantage. And last fight of the stream. Can Maimin fucking do it? Come on. Maimin, be the GOAT. Be the GOAT, I know you are. Wait, Maimin ignored my orders? Is he too high of a level for me to properly use him? Maimin pretended not to notice. Maimin, you fool! You were the GOAT! You were the GOAT for like 2 seconds! That's super effective! Maimin, you bitch! You were the chosen one! You were going to beat a guy that was with a 9 level advantage. Let's see if Chiding, with the 8 level difference, can do this. Man, so it really is just going to come down to Gyarados and Charizard for this, because I don't think that they will obey me. That's crazy. Like, that's absolutely fucking insane. I thought Maimin was the GOAT. Turns out he's nothing but a dirty rat. Anyhow, Miss Nito's going to level up. And I don't think she'll listen to me since she's level 10 now. You know, last thing I'm going to do on the stream is heal and save and call it a day, because I got 3 Pokemon on my team that will not obey me. Like, they very bluntly will refuse. So, yeah, I think beating Misty will make Pokemon up to level 20 obey me. So, oh man, this is actually bad. Because I think, like, Miss Nito, the highest I'd be able to get her is 19 going into Surge, and she'll evolve at like 15 or 16. And I think like his strongest Pokemon is level 30, and given that these guys are trade mons and they're counting as gifts, yeah, this is potentially bad. Anywho, I plan on doing at least a 3-hour stream on my days off of work for this series, so if you liked it, like, thumbs up, always appreciated. Subscribe if you're new. Have a good one.